spending over ₦1 billion to essentially acquire the real estate, set up, and start to work on what we know as the luxury end of the Bedrock apartments, not the homes. The team basically found another gap that was non-existent on the mainland, was in demand, and already had enough potential to be able to run, finance, and justify itself. And that is what has brought us to this point that we are at. Today we sit in one part of the content studio that is located at one of the outlets of the Bedrock Apartments empire, I like to call. And we are literally having the first podcast that's going to be recorded here. We are literally just launching. And today I have with me Oyinye, who is the founding member and now the CEO of Bedrock, who's going to talk to us about the journey to getting here. The journey to getting here, the pains, the trials, the thinking, the mindset behind how it's done. A lot of us would see this and would think, oh, this is a lot of money that has gone from one person, but I'm going to allow her to tell you that story. The reason why I'm asking for this story to be told is so that a lot of us who think that we have to have all the money ourselves can listen to how other people are actually doing it without having all the money themselves. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And Oyinye, thank you for allowing this to happen. And yes, you are looking very regal, like the CEO the CEO of a very luxurious brand.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Work done.
Thank you, thank you.
I know I was here a few days ago when you guys were literally having your open house.
Yeah.
And I walked through the space and it was beautiful. Yes, you can still see that you still have a bit of work to be done, like finishing touches and all.
Absolutely.
But it's already a very user-friendly space. You've already had people use it.
Yes.
Definitely. From Saturday, you said you had someone use it on Sunday, and we're here. Because people will wonder and they'll say, "Oh, what do you need for a podcast studio?" First thing, you need a space, right?
You need a soundproof space.
You need a soundproof space.
Yes.
You need to be able to have lights. You need to be able to, and you guys have
Cameras.
literally built all of that into it.
Yes.
So let's just backtrack, because this is us that we know the space, we know everything, right? Let's backtrack and tell us how and what it was that helped you to get to that point of saying, at this location, because you had the space, why did you need to diversify from apartments into adding in the content studio?
Okay, thank you, Lerato. I think that the journey to setting up Stories by Bedrock was for me a no-brainer. We had close to 30 apartments in this space. And while we have all that apartments, it seems like, for us, it seemed like a good opportunity to try out something. So this is meant to be, as my friend Kelly called it, a nursery of this idea.
Okay.
So we're nursing the idea of the content studio / cinema, and just basically piloting this idea. Already, we know that it's taken off because, look, this is a different revenue stream in terms of the economics of it.
Yeah.
This is a different traffic footfall coming in, and it just really helps us to see other utilization of the space. I think that one of the things that was clear to us this year was when we really defined our mission, which is to create spaces, private spaces. So when we, as Bedrock, defined our mission as that, it then became, okay, what other kind of private spaces can we create for people? What do they need? What is exclusive to them in this time and season for their use? And not just private spaces, but also to create nostalgic memories. So it was a no-brainer when I got wind of this idea. In fact, I hadn't exactly thought about it before until my friend pointed it out and said, "You know what, this would be a good idea." And I said, "Let's try it. Let's try it. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't work out," I'm already at this point where if something doesn't work, I don't believe that something that I will try wouldn't work out. But I'm willing to try things that are similarly crazy you know,
what people would normally say unorthodox.
Yes.
And not normal.
Yes.
You are thinking outside of the box.
Outside.
And I think that it's very instrumental to people who have real estate to say, you have to be able to think outside of the box.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to think that in that unorthodox way.
Yeah.
Because what is real estate? What is the concept and the notion to getting paid for your real estate?
Yeah.
It is to create spaces that people need and want to be in.
Absolutely.
So you have apartments, you have the studio, which in this day and age where we now have a lot of content, like people need spaces.
Look, let me even tell you, the truth is, they do, some of them are just looking for aesthetically pleasing places to just take a picture or do a small video and put it up, because right now we're in the social media era.
If it doesn't look good, it's not going nowhere.
Do you get? And when you run out of all the corners in your house to take these pictures, you have to look for fresh spaces.
Fresh space. Yes.
Exactly. So we set up the restaurant, Choco's Bistro, in August last year. So we're one today, actually.
Yeah.
Congratulations to us. And by December, we saw an uptake of people who were just literally looking for the best angle to take a picture.
Oh, yeah.
And that opened my eyes. So that by the time it was suggested to me, I could just take that very quickly, because, you know, layer one data on another. Like, oh, people actually, I'm seeing the fact that people actually are looking for that, and I have a space that I can welcome these people into. So I mean, it was really a no-brainer, for us. It was really a no-brainer.
Nice. So, if you say it was a no-brainer, right? Then talk us through the numbers end of it, because ideas-wise, it's one thing for you to have an idea.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, it's another thing for you to also be able to say this idea is valid. You know,
makes sense economically.
With tech, people call it product market fit and all of that. But with real estate, you can't necessarily say product market fit, because it's real estate. People will say, yes, we need the space. But you also need to be able to know that the space that you're creating can be used by people.
Absolutely.
I mean, because that's the only way it will make sense. That's the only narrative that you would have to put out there to be able to get the money to do it.
Absolutely.
Because you have always said it, that you said, look, this money is not, it's not my money. I'm taking these risks and all of that, but they're calculated risks.
Calculated, absolutely.
Right? So talk us through that calculation, you know, talk us through that process of, oh yes, this makes sense, but numbers-wise, how do you then
justify
talk about it and justify it, you know, to be able to say, yes, this makes sense?
Okay. So where I'll start is, it's Lerato. If I say location, you already know that that's the basis of real estate, right? And for location tick, right? We're located in Ikeja, right? It's great for apartment business, but also it has, because it's on the mainland, there's a lot of people that are not wanting to travel that far, because, I mean, Phil is saying what he's saying, this is saying what he's saying, right? Yeah. So people want to be closer to where they can have a good time till late and then go home. Security issues, all of that good stuff. So we're on the mainland, we're accessible by most. In terms of numbers, but we started with 4 apartments. Yeah. And for us, it was 4 apartments in 4-bedroom apartments in 4 places. Yeah. And within the last 2 years, we've turned 4 into literally 30. I know I've said 30 before, but 30 functional spaces for rent, right? And coming from, the journey from 4 to 30 was not, it wasn't a, oh, this is where we're going to, this is a milestone that we have to hit. Yeah. I don't think that I sat down and said, you know what, the next number is 30. I know what the next number is in my head. Do you want to know? Yes.
Let's get
I know what it is in my head, but then it was like, just keep doing what you're doing. Right. What I was seeing was, in the times of like peak periods, we were oversubscribed. Oh, yeah. In the times of the low peak period, right, it was like maybe halfway subscribed. Just that's before this third
space
residence came up. And for me, it was even that at the time we're treating it like even a side business. Let me confess, right? Well, at that 1.5 years, so 18 months into the business, where I was still like, you know what, it's still a side business. Until I saw that the assets that we have, this doesn't, that's not the definition of a side business. And so I had to take it on a little more seriously. And then with that, beginning of this year, we got on this apartment, this residence that is, you know, has
literally the biggest.
The biggest, yes. And from here, it seemed like, okay, we have space for everything we need. What else can we accommodate? So what we do is a day-to-day payment sort of system where every night you're charged per night of use. This makes sense to us. For stories, that's what this is, right? Stories make sense to us because it's a per hour use type space. So it's a different revenue stream and a different revenue model. And then it reaches out to a new target audience. What's there not to go into, right? It makes all the sense. It ticked all the boxes, all the right boxes. Now, you now make accommodation for when it takes off. And I think we launched at the best time. But in the middle of summer, children are on holiday, they're looking for where to hang out. People like new and shiny. While in GRA, there are a lot of agencies that are looking to do advertisements. Here we are, please. There are baddies on the mainland that are not looking to go to the island because, I mean, some of those spaces, they can't really access, right? We're here for you. So with audience, in terms, I know that I won't lose anything by converting this space. In terms of forecasting, I know that our numbers are looking tidy. So I think that it just made sense, and so we're here. We're here.
Yeah, I mean, so just listening to you, because sometimes you may not even realize how much of data structuring it was that you did, right? Because you talk about how at Choco's, you saw how people were looking for angles to take the pictures.
Yeah.
There's a rave, a craze.
I need to tell you about that December.
That, right? Oh no, so you don't need to tell me.
Oh my God.
I was at Choco's for, I had some inspections and I had to go to Choco's. For some reason, I brought out my phone and I caught the reflection of myself in a corner.
In the lounge.
Yes.
Ah, yeah. That's
and I took pictures there.
Yes.
And I posted those pictures.
Yes.
People were like, where was this?
Yes, they should come, please. Choco's.
And I was like,
Oduduwa way. Ikeja.
No.
Yes.
Like, no, it's one of the times when you travel. I was like,
yes,
no,
it's here.
It's Choco's.
Yes.
And they were like, that same Choco's? Yes.
And the thing is, some people look at those pictures and then they come in and they're like expecting an expansive space. Hello, it's angled.
Exactly.
You get me? It's like, you just...
Exactly, right? Because I was having this conversation with somebody that knows Choco's. First I was like, that Choco's. Like, that...
They should not that Choco's me.
I was like, yes, that same Choco's.
Same one.
There are ways in which it is that you can see. And that is essentially what I love the most about this place, right?
Yeah.
Because...
all the angles are given.
They give you, like they give you different things. See the space that we're in now.
Yes.
We've created this out of this space. This is literally where the theater is supposed to be.
Yes.
On Saturday it looked different.
Yes.
On Saturday when I walked through the space, I was looking at the, what do you call the place for the beauty content and stuff
Vanity.
like that? Vanity space. And I was like, just move in different angles, and I was like, these are different shots. You know, so I think you don't even understand how much data structuring it was that you did when you were figuring out the fact that this is a totally different revenue stream. It's absolutely different from when you want to get annual rent on a space.
Annual rent is not going to cut this.
It's totally different.
Yes.
Even the apartments is totally different.
Yes.
So here you're thinking and you're saying, 7 different people can rent this place.
Yes.
Which is 2 apartments, right? 2 apartments. 2 apartments, because there's this and that.
Yes.
And it's like 7 different people can rent
concurrently.
Concurrently.
Yeah.
In the space, same 1 hour.
Yes.
It doesn't happen in apartments. It
No.
doesn't happen in houses.
No.
It doesn't happen in this. So yes, it was creative. Yes, the idea seems to make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, but I dare say that it does take a different type of mindset to be able to think of it that way. Because first things first, you have to even have the real estate that you can convert.
Girl.
So
Yes.
this is where when I tell people, I say, don't. If you can go bigger,
Yeah.
go bigger.
Yes.
You will never lose out from going bigger.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
When people are trying to buy plots of land and all of that,
Yeah.
I say, if you can buy 2 or 3, buy
Do
2 or
that.
3.
Yes.
Reason being that you will get to a point, you will sell one to use to build the other 2.
Thank you.
Or you will lease or whatever out 1 or 2 to develop the other ones. Or you would live in one and you would rent out the
Absolutely.
other one. There'll always be that leverage. And that is literally what you guys have done here.
Yes, please.
And it's definitely working. I tell you, it's definitely working, right? Because by the time people even just get to understand what spaces you have, like, yes, that will work. And then you would now find your investors saying, oh, yes, they did a thing. Investors being happy.
Yes.
So this is investors being happy after the fact, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about how that whole story around getting the investors on board made sense. And I think for this part of the story to make sense, Onye's going to have to take us a bit back, because this whole story did not start with just Bedrock.
Yeah.
It has another history, which is Sycamore. And I'm going to let her start from what Sycamore is, what Sycamore offers, and why it was that Sycamore literally opened up the avenues for this. So
After this break.
yes. Now we are back, and Onye is going to tell us that story of how all of this started. Because yes, it all starts from somewhere.
It does.
But it goes somewhere. So let's listen to that.
I think starting from somewhere and going somewhere, most people like to think about, oh, this is exactly where I'm going to. So you know what, everything has to align. I think for me, it was more of like an open mind that I had. And that's still what I run with, so that I can take some of the risks that I'm taking. So, story. So, went to business school, met my business partners, Tunde and Maiwa. 2019 started Sycamore.
Yes.
Sycamore is a tech-enabled financial services platform, right? We offer access to credit facilities through web, USSD, and our mobile app, Sycamore, on Play Store and App Store. So basically, what we wanted to achieve with Sycamore was close a funding gap that was apparent, that IFC estimates to be 2.5 billion in Lagos alone every year, right? We're like, you know what, let's just even touch 2% of that.
Oh, you guys wanted just 2%.
2. We're not greedy. 2. Small, like this, right? And that's where we really started from. This is after refining the idea and refining, right? So you start from somewhere and you're going somewhere. And then, so we bootstrapped through our first year, got our first investment at the end of the year. And with that investment of $200,000, we've 41 exits as at the end of last year. So I'm talking about 50x by now, right? So right now we have, proud to say, we're licensed by SEC, we're licensed by the CBN, We have multiple licenses that allow us to do the work that we do across the 6 states in Nigeria. Now, I think that I just had an itch. You know when you're not settled, like you're doing something, but it's not, I'm doing it, it's going great. Yeah. It's going great, right? There's something itching me like... And
you're like, I want another avenue. I want another option.
Now, before I realized that I was itching, we needed to move offices. We had gotten to our capacity in our solar office, which was a 2-bed space. Very, very quaint space there. And we're so proud of it. Do you know how much work we put into that space? We're super proud of it.
It's always the first step.
Do you understand? See, even our first table in Tunde's house, we took pictures. We did a video when we went to go and buy it from Yano Solo.
Oh my God.
Yes, that roadside, second hand.
Yes.
4 chairs, 4-seater table. Love it. Yeah. Those are the days, right? Yeah. And so, so moving to Ikeja, the place we found, the landlord wouldn't let us have only 2 of the 5 spaces that we needed. Okay. At the time, we're maybe like 30-ish, 40. Okay. Right? We had gotten that place in Surulere. We had split into half. We had a Marina branch and a Surulere branch. So we had 2 branches, and like it didn't make sense, the rent and all of that. So we decided that, you know what, let's get one place that is enough for all of us. So this place was that place, but it was then too big. Or at the time, I thought so. God sent this agent who said, you know what, there's an opportunity in real estate, I mean, Charlotte's, you know, rentals in Ikeja. Take it. If you have the money, take it, and you would be fine. Yeah. For 6 months after we paid that rent, we're not fine.
You're not fine.
We're not fine. The place was just empty. So hence the itch. I was just like, God, we're wasting rent. The rent is blowing, we're wasting it, right? And so I decided that, you know what, hey guys, let's start this thing. Wherever we are, we will get. So we called someone to help us set the place up, and she did a very good job. Shout out to Banker of Latile. Did a very good job setting up the place. And then this is after we had set up Sycamore, the 2. Yes, yeah. So we had, and that Sycamore was set up by Buki, Sunflower. Okay. So 6 months into our Ikeja office, we had set up Bedrock. And then we're waiting for customers to come. Because you can set it up, but then you need them to drop their money and sleep, right? Yeah. 2 different things.
And for them to trust that.
And then trust that you're going to give them a good service and, you know, experience. So we got, somehow got the operations together. You be in charge of this. Let me be facing my work. You know what I'm talking about? 1 year passed. You know, we marked it. I don't know what it was between year 1 and year 2 anniversary, but something happened in between. And within year 1, we got our second space, which is in Okpebi. Oh. So altogether, we had 11 apartments. Yeah. A cumulative of about 30 rooms. And then something happened between year 1 anniversary and year 2 anniversary, where it was like we're brimming at the brim. Yeah. Do you get that kind of thing? Where your capacity, you have the potential to do more. And so we saw this space, and we thought, again, this is bigger than what we need. But because you have killed the lion and slain the bear,
you're like, nah.
I didn't entertain the thoughts for more than a second. Like, it's big, we'll be fine. We've done big before. Do you understand? So we took the space up.
The math, that's a math.
The math. Lord knows. Let me just give you this small math. Abi? This is us setting up this third space during the time where cement in November was 3.6. When we finished setting up in March, we hadn't even finished, but most of the
the bulk of the work.
bulk of the work in the renovation had been done. It was 11.6. One item.
Yeah.
What happened to our forecast? Scrapped because your one item times 3
had done.
Do you understand? So exactly what are you forecasting? Yeah. You are going by the day with prayer and good vibes.
We have
Pray.
to keep going.
Yes, because you've started.
Yeah,
you've put your foot in it. So you have to go. There's a risk that you take that it doesn't make sense to go back.
Yeah.
So we went forward. In fact, Q1 this year, I was like a site manager, project manager, pong. Architect.
Every time you say this, it kills me because I'm like, it's very true.
It is.
You wake up in the morning and
yes.
they're telling you have a meeting. You're like, really? But I have this, and you're thinking, this one is calling me.
Look, look. You're having a meeting. They are doing bang bang boom boom on your head. Like it was the reality of the first 3 months. Yeah. Somewhere in the middle, I said, you know what?
I'm tired.
I'm gonna just go and sleep small and then come back. You know. But like it was great because that was such a new experience for me. I had never done anything like that before, and now I can tell you this one will tear it down, bring it up like this, we'll do it like this. You get those are experiences that until you're inside, you can't. Nobody can tell you. They don't teach you that kind of thing, right? So, outside of the experience, one of the things that we did then was we said, okay, let's start to pace ourselves with getting the revenue back for them, starting the revenue. So there are 3 blocks in this compound. We started with the first one.
Right.
So let the first one be going, and then let's continue renovating the rest of it, because the truth is you can't have finished and wait so that you can do a nice cutting ceremony and then ribbon cutting ceremony and then you're open. No. Look, money needs to start coming in. Let's start, put it on the market. So we started phasing the onboarding of our rooms and apartments on our software, making it available for guests online and offline to use. That made it a little easier to swallow, because from March till now we're still climbing in terms of revenues catching up to where we expect it to be. So it's not a bad deal at all. But in the first few months, you would quickly doubt yourself and say, what do I really put my hands into? Do you get?
So you always think.
Yes. You'll not be thinking, this is a man's work. You put your hand there. Real estate is for men and women. So continue. Do you understand? And then you deal with all sorts of people. You deal with the artisans that don't speak English, that your own...
Your lines and their lines.
It's not jiving, so write it down. You understand? These numbers are talking. Write it down. Do you get? And then you are negotiating every single deal to get the best thing out of it. Yeah. It is a lot to do, but hey, it's worth it. End of the day. So,
I mean,
and then just to so I was talking through getting to stories, right? So we did that. We set up. By the time we set up the 3rd building, that's when, I got the idea from my friend that, look, hey, this thing is a new idea. Yeah. And it's a gap in the market. Yeah. So.
Especially in the mainland, right?
And yes, and it's in line with what we do already. So, hey, so I think that also keeping your ears open and peeled for ideas, especially when something is back burner for you, is very important, because the prayer you're praying will not drop, the answer will not drop from heaven. People will suggest things to you that would sort of go in line with what's...
either fit or they will lead you
exactly.
to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. And here we are today. Stories is a vertical from Bedrock.
Yeah. And, when you talk about how prayers are you wishing, and the things that are going to help make those prayers come true are going to come from people, they're going to come from ideas, they're going to come from conversations. This is where I think it's also very important for everyone to remember and note that you have to first want something.
Absolutely.
You have to first map it. You have to first know what it is. So when people come and they say, I just want to invest in real estate, I'm like, no, you can't go nowhere doing that. You have to
know where you want to go or what you want to achieve.
Or what's pursuing you from behind.
From behind.
Yeah.
For you to say, this is why I'm looking into real estate.
Yeah.
For you to even be able to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you will just find that any offer that comes on the table, you will just take it. And when you take it, and then you just get to a point where you're like, why, how?
Yeah.
Why did I get stuck in this thing? No, this thing is not for me.
Yes.
Tendency for you to quit would come.
Yes.
Very easy.
Yes, because it's difficult. It gets really tough.
Think about when you were right in the middle. You were sucked into all of this. I mean, I'm certain that you even said it. You said that there is a point where you're going in your journey that you know that it doesn't make sense to go back.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have that conviction, you would have either quit or you'd have said, look, guys, you know what? This thing is too much work. Let's find another way to let go of this block and keep that other block.
Yeah.
I
Or
mean,
even rent it out.
or even rent it out.
Like the stress is too much, please.
Right? You know?
Design your place.
Yes, you know. So I think that for those of you who are watching, I mean, you've heard how she's gone from idea to actualization. You've heard the hard work that literally goes into it. And I'm reiterating this hard work part. And I like how she told the story of the work, right? Because a lot of people think real estate is easy. Or they think it is a walk in the park.
You can outsource it. You can,
Outsourcing it has to be to the right person that matches you.
Yeah.
Because if that person doesn't match you, you will just be on different tangents. Real estate will keep working, but not for
you.
either.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you that owns the money, you'll be bitter.
Yeah.
So I always think that it's just best to go the route that you went. Know what you want, know where you're going, know what's driving you, and then keep tweaking and tuning everything to fit into that. If you have to stagger it, if you have to map it out and break it into batches, please do. But know that there's an end point that you need to be able to get to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if we're gonna talk about end points now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say this is your end, right?
Absolutely not. Hello.
I've heard you go from it was a lot of work to I love what we're building.
Yes.
And I think back to the days that you were like, right, so this thing is a lot of work. I don't envy you people and all of that.
Look.
Like, don't worry, you'll be fine. And you'd be like, no, I'm not there. I remember that conversation. And I remember you now when you're saying, you're like, I love what we're building.
Yeah.
We had this conversation on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
oh, really? What we're building? She said, yes.
Yes. Because, look, that's what it alludes back to what you were saying about knowing your why for going into real estate. There's all sorts of other businesses that you can do. For me, for my why dates back to like my childhood, right? We moved quite a bit. Quite a bit, you know, and that's instability in quotes, right? It stuck with me. It's the thing that fuels my routine, you know, being in real estate, because it's not entrepreneurship, you know. It's the thing that it is that, and I think maybe that happened for me in particular, you know, so that I can know my why. Yeah. And this is not to say that this is the first time I'm doing real estate and it's working out. It's like maybe my third try or something. Bedrock is not my first. Do you get? No. It's not. The first time I tried, oh my God. First land I bought. Okay. They've collected it back.
Oh my God.
Yes. It happens, and it's the story of a lot of Nigerians today, right? They'll tell you, oh, come and fence it, come on. Next thing, you don't have a place again because there was something that you were meant to. They gave me only receipts. So I'm like, oh my God. And I was trying to be a big girl about it and be an adult and not involve everybody. Oh boy. They've collected that one. The second one that I started to pay for, because that one was going to be a little more than my income at the time, so I started to stagger the payments. I don't know where she is, the person I was paying to.
Oops.
Yeah, somewhere in Lekki. Okay. I don't know where she is today. And her number is still on my phone. I think the number just stopped going through, or she stopped picking my call, whatever it was. But so it is, I'm going to go again. Yeah. So that itch is from a very far place, but it's also fueled by, and that's what fuels my passion to keep finding other avenues to make this work. Do you get? It's really just very deep-rooted, and if you don't have the thing that is pushing you, you must have the thing that you're going towards.
You're right.
But something has to anchor you in this thing. If not, the challenges are plenty. You will just fall by the wayside. There's no need. Like, why am I here? I beg. Do you get? I'll be done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You went the first time. You went the second time.
Yes.
But you're still here, and now you've even done it in a way that people are seeing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you hadn't mentioned it here, like, I'm very certain, even I didn't even know.
Yes.
You know, because with what you've done now, nobody would think that, oh, okay, you came from a negative history with real estate. So it's always going to be about, you go through an experience, you learn from the experience.
Absolutely.
And you take it into the next one.
Yeah.
And especially when you have something that is pushing you or is driving you in terms of a why.
Yeah.
What it is you want to be able to do. I mean, I know that you have the personal why for being able to do it, but you also have the professional why, which is the promise that you've given to the people who have invested in you, to say you have to find the best avenues to be able to return their money.
Absolutely.
You know, so you will always keep that as the things that keep waking you up, keeping you
in the middle of the night. 3 a.m. to be precise.
I think that 3 a.m. is like
It's significant.
special.
Swear, it is. It is.
Yes, you know, to just, because I think it happens to a lot of people. And
Yeah.
when you're talking, they're like, you're up at 3 a.m. Why?
Yeah.
Hey, I had something disturbing me. Like, I think we are entrepreneurs have to go and think, what is it with 3 a.m.?
The back burner becomes front burner. Yeah. You start to dream and then you just open your eye and you're awake. You know, but send that email. You know, just get on with your day. Just start.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just really great. So let's just very quickly talk about people who want to do this.
Yeah.
And I know not everybody can do it at this level. Not everybody can literally go from 4 to 30 to, what, you guys are like, what now, 60?
60.
Right? Yeah. You know, and not everybody can do that, especially not on your own, right? So we've talked about literally a lot, right? And we talked about how hard it's been, your experience, how you've gone through it. So let's just very quickly touch on 3 things, right?
Okay.
That an aspiring investor, or somebody who wants to do this, somebody who wants to do short-let, somebody who wants to do short-term rentals, especially considering the fact that real estate is real estate, a lot more people are considering doing this. And I'm a big advocate for saying, if you want to do it right. Don't get it wrong. The more people who get it wrong, the less people who want to go back into it. So what would be 3 things that you would advise anyone who wants to go into this?
Okay, so thing 1 would be create the most functional spaces in terms of maintenance, in terms of utility. So does he have a bathroom? Check. Does he have it? Check. User experience, very, very important. I went to a place, I will not mention the name. We didn't even have a place to put our soap. Yeah, in the bathroom. So user experience is so important because you can sell such a lovely, aesthetically pleasing, I keep on saying aesthetically, but my very pleasing space, but it has to be user friendly, so functional, right? Will be the, basest thing, and well maintained. So the spent light bulb, fix it. The tap will burst, it is part of it. Somebody will break the chair, you maintain it. It's what it is, right? Second thing I would say would be shortest time to break even. So even in your replowing and investing, ensure that you're doing only so much to get you to where you need to be to start to make money.
Right.
Improve as you go along. That's how I would say it because that's what worked for me. And then the third thing is really the most important, which is the people.
People.
Full stop.
Workers. Stop.
The team is very important because they're the people that make or break the business.
Yeah.
In hospitality, it is literally, okay, so you now do this fine space, then somebody now comes into your space to come and clean it and they have body odor. And you will think that is a no-brainer because we're all adults, right? But these are some of the things you need to check. You need to check for people that even have a heart for the business, that won't badmouth you to, is...
You say, Auntie, don't worry, just manage. This
Do you
is
get?
what it is.
It's,
And then,
that's how
sorry,
they
what?
do. That's how they
Sorry,
do.
what? I paid. What is that? You say, Auntie, I don't know.
That's how they do.
That's how they do. I think that's the one that really gets me.
Oh,
That's how they do, or that's how it is done. And
Hey,
no,
you
there's
know.
a better way.
No, there's a better way.
Yeah.
I think the people really make or break it because they continue to create the perception of the brand beyond your marketing.
True.
So if you have it right in every other thing, you need to get it right with people as well. You need to train. Some people say, oh, why bother training? If you don't train them and they stay, it's worse off for you. If you train them and they go, okay, great, they've gone with the business intelligence, but your business was better for it while they stayed.
Yeah.
So it's really an opportunity cost thing. And the truth is you can't do it alone.
No.
So if you want to sell this kind of space, I need to rely on people who know what they're doing, people who are willing to do what they're supposed to do. Different things, though.
Exactly right.
Different. So, I mean, there's all of that
people
involved.
People knowing and people willing.
Yes. Full stop. Full stop.
When you put them like people
Fair.
knowing and people willing, it's
Yeah.
like this space in between that looks like it's so small can be
Expansive.
expensive, right? And just like you said, it could either make or break it.
Absolutely.
People will not say, "Oh, the space was fine," but they talk to me anyhow, and I'll go back. No, people will be like, "Oh, the staff are horrible, sir." I'm not.
No, and they won't even say the staff. They'll say Bedrock.
Yeah,
They will say your brand
Bedrock,
name.
you
Yes,
get, right?
yes.
But I mean, what they actually said is the staff, but they'll be like, Bedrock staff, no, don't go there. Don't talk
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
They will do this. The staff will be telling you about how that's how it's done, whereas you are asking for something else. Like,
Yeah.
so it's a lot.
The people,
But
very
yeah,
important.
and I think this is another place that people forget that once you go into this line of business, you say you want to be able to give people a place to stay in real estate. You stop being just in the real estate business and you're now in the hospitality business. Because essentially, people will compare you to hotels.
Yes.
So
Hotels abroad too. Yes.
Exactly, hotels.
Hotels that they've not been to. Yes. Hotels that they cannot afford with the money that they're paying you. Yes.
Yes.
You will have to manage with it.
All of them
You know.
are things that you just have to suck in.
Yes.
And it's business.
It's part of it.
You either take it or you drop it or you.
No, you have to. No, so the thing is, for me, it's closing the knowledge gap as well. It's very important. Okay, Madam Lerato, you pay me 50K per night, not $50,000, 50K naira. But you're comparing me to your experience with me to a which one will I use now? A Sheraton in Maldives, right? So context is different, right? It's a resort type feel you would get, right? So you have to be realistic about what you're offering and be very clear about it. Okay, this space is a no-frills space. It's highly functional. It's executive. You come, go. You get there's everything you need: internet, water, lights, quiet. Does that work for you? If it does, then we go along. If it does not, we don't have swimming pool yet. Do you get me? We don't have. We don't have. There are things that you now start hearing, we don't sell that. In fact, from my experience with Chocos, where some people, I'll be sitting in there, of course they don't know who I am, and I really don't care for them to know who I am.
Just buy what you want to buy.
You know, people, is this all? Yes, it is. It's a very quaint space. It's very small, right? So people's expectations, you have to bridge that gap between your offerings and their expectations. Because if not, then there'll be place for,
Not doing enough. And they're like, okay, yes, we know we're not doing enough. Like,
No. I don't know that I'm not doing enough. I'm doing what I am able to within the budget that I have given you. So if you want something more premium, then you need to
I'm
pay
not-
more.
I'm either not the one to provide it to you, or you
Well,
need to pay more.
You need to
than
pay
the
more.
basic
Yes.
For me to be able to
Yes,
do that.
because
you know?
once you cross that line into hospitality, it becomes a whole kettle of fish. And you need to be able to navigate it wisely, safely and wisely, because, again, you're in Ikeja, somebody's saying, oh, I'm Marriott. I'm like,
I'm not married.
different offering.
Exactly.
Right? While a shortlet, premium shortlet space
Yeah.
is not the same. Marriott is a hotel. It's an international hotel, right? So you really need to know who you are and be able to say it with your full chest.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you've said it all, right? Like, you have to know who you are, what you're offering, and say it with your full chest, right? Pick your level. Take your space and own it. And every time you do that, you are always going to be better. Because you would always then try to be the best that you can be in your own...
For your customers. Yes.
Whew, okay, so I think that we've had a very, very full conversation. And I'd like to say thank you again.
I'd like to say thank you too.
Thank you. I mean, like, it has been enlightening.
Yeah.
It has been very inspiring, you know, to say the least. Because it's not every day that you see a real estate business or you see a business that is in the space of investing in real estate to go from not wanting to invest in real estate, but then that's what you had to do because that was the opportunity that presented itself. And then you go from 4 to 30 to 60, and then you even expand into having a whole content studio. And all of this would be, what, 4 years?
2.
Okay.
Well, literally 2 and a month, yes.
So, yes, I mean, that is definitely like something really, really inspiring to hold. I mean, we always hear how people abroad, when they talk about, oh, I have XYZ number of doors, $100, I have $60, and then people are like, can't happen in Nigeria. And I'm always like, why do you think it can't happen? Like, there are ways that you can go about it. From one to this. Pick what you want. What do you want? Do you want to be able to say you're making money from X number of doors? Or do you want to say you've built a portfolio? Do you want to say that it's just like what you said. Find your space. Own your space. Make the most of it. And the sky's the limit.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's tell people how they can find. We talked about everything. We talked about Sycamore. We talked about Bedrock. We've talked about Chocos.
And stories.
And stories. Oh, yes. Like, and stories. So how do people find stories? I mean, it's a lovely space. We need the customers to start coming in. So how do people find, where do people find stories? And how do people place their bookings? I know that it's still a work in progress, but at least you do have a space. You are. So how do people contact?
So you can contact us from online. We are available on IG. You can book via the link in bio. You can call the line and we'll be able to take your bookings there. And by September 1, we'll be launching our revamped website so you can self-serve end to end on the website.
That
Yeah.
sounds very interesting.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Don't talk to
Yeah,
nobody.
just go click,
where you
pay,
are,
and
go.
move. Yeah. Show up, actually. Yeah.
That's convenience.
Yeah.
Swift.
And the physical location is 30 Oladipo Bataye Street, Ikeja GRA.
Yes. Please book before you come home. They will ask you at the gate. Because, I mean, and I say this with every sense of respect, because people believe that, oh, it's a shortlet apartment, that you should be allowed entry. But one of the things that is promised to guests is that you are coming into a space that is private. You're coming into a place that is secluded, serene. So not just anybody would walk in.
Yep.
So you have to have a booking to even be able to get in the gate, right?
Yes.
So please find them online. They've made it easy. for you to find them, make a booking, and reserve your space, reserve your spots, and they'll be happy to serve you.
Yes,
right?
please.
Just like I've been happy to serve. Because I'm not a Bedrock staff. I'm a Bedrock friend and partner.
Absolutely.
And I am in the real estate space, so I understand the business. I understand the pain. I understand the hard work that has gone into this. And we all want you to enjoy. We want more of you to come into the investment space. So let's keep it going. Yep. So anyway, my name is Lerato Okoro. As I said, I'm in the real estate space. Be happy to have another chat with you. If you're watching this for the first time, right? You'll probably be seeing more on Stories by Bedrock, or you'll be seeing me on my channel.
And my channel
and
too.
Hair channel. Oh, finally!
Red nails in the boardroom.
Yeah. Oh, see. Space. We have spaces, right? So now we're going to do all our content. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching to this point. I know that it has. I hope that it has been as fulfilling, warm, and enlightening as it has been for us.
Yes.
We haven't.
Yes. The banter was good.
Exactly right. And I hope that you would continue to be interested, continue to find your own spot. Till next time.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Round.